More than 20 years have passed, yet I cannot forgive my husband's parents for their actions. The pain and sorrow still haunt me, and I cannot forget what I have endured. If I had known everything before, I would have asked for a divorce before leaving home. I was only 20 years old, too young to understand life's challenges and the struggles ahead. I did not know how to speak up for myself or express my true feelings. My husband never supported me. He feared his father and always obeyed him without question. I had to face everything alone, feeling isolated, abandoned, and struggling with my new reality. Holding my baby in my arms, I cried countless times, overwhelmed by loneliness and sadness. Before we moved, we lived with my parents, and everything seemed manageable at the beginning. Deep inside, I dreaded the day I would have to leave my loving home. I knew leaving was inevitable, but I never expected it to happen so quickly. We had to leave earlier than planned, forcing a painful farewell to my family. Saying goodbye to my beloved mother was like losing a piece of my soul. Living in a foreign land, far from familiarity, filled me with unbearable sadness every day. I wondered if I could survive the pain that deeply gripped my heart each moment. The journey and transition were extremely difficult, and my health deteriorated significantly from stress. I could not stop thinking about my home and mother, feeling lost and broken. Each day felt like a struggle, and I became physically sick from sorrow and exhaustion. My husband's parents never cared for me or showed any concern for my well-being. I was entirely alone with no emotional support, battling my emotions and heavy burdens. The sadness weighed heavily, but I had to be strong for my child and mother. She too was devastated by our distance, and I needed strength to continue living. For months, I visited doctors, trying to understand why I felt weak and exhausted. I attempted to remain strong, but it was a constant battle for me every day. Eventually, I started working, yet nothing was easy in this completely unfamiliar environment. Adjusting to a new country, where I did not understand the language, was extremely overwhelming. Simple communication was difficult, and I often felt lost in conversations and everyday interactions. However, I did not give up and worked hard to learn the necessary language skills. Over time, I secured a good job and finally started earning money for survival. Slowly, I regained a sense of self-worth and pride in my personal achievements. My dream was to buy a house, and I worked tirelessly to achieve it. My husband, however, could not adapt, struggling with learning the language for many years. Even today, he finds it difficult to communicate and remains distant from societal integration. For a long time, he remained unemployed, and I carried our family financially alone. I never left his side, working hard while supporting him emotionally during difficult times. But one day, everything changed when my mother-in-law made deeply hurtful remarks. She claimed she always wanted a daughter, but never truly considered me one. She pointed out that other women had their mothers, while I had no one. Her words cut deep, making me feel even more abandoned and painfully isolated. I often wonder what my husband's parents expect from me despite everything they did. Do they seek love or kindness from me when I have nothing left to give? My feelings toward them have changed, and now, I only treat them with respect. I acknowledge holidays, speak politely, and avoid conflicts, but my heart holds no warmth. My mother passed away 10 years ago, and her absence still pains me daily. I regret not visiting her as often as I should have when she was alive. I remember my mother-in-law discouraging me from calling her, saying it was expensive. That made me feel awful, yet I obeyed and sacrificed my happiness for them. I would call my mother once a month, reassure her, and quickly end conversations. Now looking back, I realize how much I sacrificed for people who never cared. It is clear now that my husband's parents never liked me or valued my presence. The memories of my father-in-law are even worse, leaving deep emotional scars. One night, he did something unforgivable. He threw me out with my baby. My husband, drunk and angry, frightened me, and I needed a safe place. But my father-in-law did not care. He told me to return home alone. However, I had to leave my son behind, which was impossible for me. Without hesitation, I chose to stay because my child was always my priority. I would never abandon him under any circumstances, no matter what happened then. Though many years have passed, the pain still feels fresh and deeply unsettling. Every time I recall that night, my heart aches and tears fill my eyes. I wonder why I was so weak back then and could not defend myself. Why do I still talk to them, as if nothing terrible ever happened before? Pretending everything is fine is exhausting and takes a heavy emotional toll daily. I can no longer wear a mask of happiness when my heart still hurts. It is difficult to express these emotions, and I apologize if my words seem disorganized. Recalling these memories is painful, but I need to find a way forward. I know that I will never forget what happened and the pain they caused. But I hope that one day, I will finally heal from this deep sorrow. Perhaps time will bring me peace, even if forgiveness remains completely beyond my reach.